Melicifer, a Gadian lord of the small estate of Winter's Reach, discovers that the folk tales and rumours that his family has dark gifts are true. When he discovers a secret laboratory beneath his manor house, unfortunately, one of the local workmen, Edgar, also sees the laboratory, leaving Melicifer no choice but to silence him. Alas, he only managed to wound the man before he fled into the night. Frustrated, Melicifer returns to his study and tries to find information on the mysterious cellar. Once the other workmen complete their work, Melicifer returns to the lab and thoroughly investigates it. He finds some notes that document methods of raising the dead. He tests it out and manages to raise a zombie. Excited, Melicifer sends for animals for more experiments, and soon he has a skeletal servant to add to his undead menagerie. The next day, Melicifer decides that the time has come for the people of Gadia to rise up, in more ways than one, and reclaim their lands. While pondering on his dark conquest, he is approached by the sheriff, who informs him there is a matter that needs his attention. The matter turns out to be the grievously wounded Edgar. Melicifer graciously offers him a room at the manor to aid his recovery, an offer he could not refuse. That evening, the manor is attacked by 3 bandits, but when Melicifer uses his dead minions, the bandits flee in terror. But not before one is slain, adding another skeleton minion to the menagerie. During the skirmish, Edgar flees the manor. Melicifer lets him go, hoping he will not be a problem in the future. Will Edgar become a problem? What lies behind the brick wall? What will Melicifer do with his undead army? Let's find out now on Dicing with Death.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. Ryan, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. How about yourself?
Quite good. Quite happy. Yes.
Good to hear. Good to hear. We got any chit chat? Any news to report?
No news to report. Just time for zombies and skeletons to kill everything.
Sweet deal.
How about you? Do you have any news?
Same old. I do have a new paper out online, which is always cool.
What is the title of your new paper?
I think it is called
That's not a good sign.
Nanoscale Physical and Chemical Structure of Iron Oxide Nanoparticles or something along the lines. The newest one. You can, I don't know.
I have Googled it.
You have Googled it.
I have found it. It was published 6 days ago.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. I had my friend in the lab had to be like, "Oh, new paper, congrats!" I was like, "What? It's out!" So I was yeah, make sure they didn't dork up your figures or anything. I'm like, no, looks good. So that's always exciting.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What is a Mossbauer spectrum or spectra?
It's gamma ray spectroscopy. Mm-hmm. So you're using like an iron source to emit gamma rays, and you basically aim those at your sample. In this case, our iron oxide nanoparticles, and you get
you use iron oxide particles to create gamma rays to fire at other iron oxide nanoparticles.
No, the source is some other iron source, but that just makes the frequency, the energy of the gamma rays appropriate for measuring the chemistry of iron in your sample.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it's a spectroscopic technique. You use gamma rays to characterize a sample.
And do you then use these gamma rays to raise the undead armies? Because according to Night of the Living Dead, that's how the undead were created. It was gamma rays from space.
Interesting. I was not aware of that. I'll have to look into these this process.
Okay.
But,
well, I encourage you to. If we can get some real life undead, that would be fantastic. And help really bring out the role playing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't actually do the gamma ray spectroscopy, the Mossbauer stuff. I did the electron microscopy.
You have plebs to do your gamma ray stuff for you?
Colleagues, co-authors.
Oh. Right. Colleagues and co-authors. Definitely not lower servants.
Actually, I'm probably lowest on the totem pole here. Most of these...
Good cover.
Most of these guys, doctors and professors.
You're...
lowly grad student over here.
For now. For the next few weeks.
Yeah. Working on it.
All right, let's do this shit. Mousifer is in his basement.
Yes, Mousifer, not Melicifer. Although I did. We were loving the sleight of tongue. Mm-hmm. That might just be the new name.
It might be the new name. It might just be the accent. You know.
No.
Some names get changed slightly depending on where you are.
So where did we leave off? Did we bash down?
Yeah, I think
that brick wall that we found in the basement.
I believe that is where we left off. I mean, we just listened to a recap, but I certainly don't.
I was too busy giggling about my new name.
Yeah.
To pay attention to the actual plot.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say we're in the basement.
I think was it you or the zombie? There was a sledgehammer and a zombie bashing down a wall.
You sledgehammered it down. The zombie reached in and ripped the walls apart. And now there's just bricks covering your basement as whatever torchlight you have on one of your desks sort of slightly illuminates this back room.
I think it's a flickering candle, right?
Perfect.
That's what we were able to find in the house for...
Just barely enough light to see across the room.
I probably pause once we've got a little portal opened to pick up a candle and hold the light into this new room. What am I looking at?
You are looking at a circular room 30 feet in diameter. There are seemingly no other exits or windows or anything like that in this room. However, there is table space, there are cages, there are coffins, and there are, what do we call them? Shelves with manuscripts and components and all sorts of alchemical agents. It looks like the bigger version of the front room. The bigger, better room.
What are the dimensions of the room?
30 feet across, circular.
Wow. So I probably can't even see the contents of this.
Maybe 30 feet's a little too big. I think I got overexcited. I think it's 20 feet across. Yeah. Sorry. I got too excited. It's 20 feet across.
It just keeps going. Well, I probably can't even see the full... I don't know what candlelight illuminates, but I can't even see the full extent of this room.
No.
So we finish bashing down the wall. I don't get too involved, but like if there's ways I can strategically knock down bricks with the sledgehammer while the zombie does the bulk of the work, will I get this... It's a full-size doorway, right?
Right.
Right. We bust on in.
You bust down the walls, and you immediately...
My house, after all.
You begin to hear some rattling of wood, some sort of scraping of something against planks, and some sort of low groaning noises coming from within.
Is there something in there? The room looked empty, right? I mean, there were shelves, there were alchemical reagents, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Bent, like, desk space, I assume. Is that what most of it is? There was nothing moving in the dark, was there?
Not in the dark, but as you said, your candlelight only illuminates so far. You can't see across the room.
So I think we clear the bricks. If the zombie cleared the bricks.
Yeah.
How does this? Do I actually have to be giving these verbal commands, right? So Malsper's constantly talking to himself.
Yeah, you can say tear down these bricks, and then it'll sort of tear it down. Or you can say take out that brick, take out that brick. You know, you can give a general task.
Well, he's currently piling bricks out of the way of the doorway. Is it wide enough to step through?
Yes, it is.
Well, axe in hand, candle in the other, I will step into the portal.
You step through, and as the candlelight illuminates the rest of the room, you see lurching towards you in an uneven movement a very rotted zombie.
I think I can just exert control over these creatures.
I would like you to make me a willpower check plus twice your level.
Yeah. Was this in the rules? I know I got those somewhere. I'll pull them up. I'll pull up that PDF in just a sec. But
this is not in that PDF.
Willpower check. Willpower is 15, so plus 2 is 17. And this is this like opposed by the creator or something, or is it just a straight?
It's a set DC.
Okay.
Yeah. So you tell me how it is that you exert control over the zombie, or attempt to exert control over it.
Well, what was it doing? It was lurching towards me, like
lurching towards you with arms out, thrown into itself.
I mean, it's a. I don't know what the word. It's a power that I have that I haven't used before. So I think it'll be just instinctual. There's no like ritual that goes along with it. If I'm thinking correctly, digging around for. Is this control undead detailed in the class?
It is not. No, we're just making an opposed check right now.
Okay, cool. Unless they are controlled by something else, and I'm like have to vie with some dark power. I think it's just like they just naturally obey my intention, right? So the zombie comes lurching forward, and I'm like, I don't know. I hold the candle up. Does just like willing it to stop it, or do I need to issue verbal commands again?
Sheer will has done nothing so far. So it's still sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Stop there, and I don't know. I'm standing in this doorway, staring down the zombie, and I think it just comes to a stop if I.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you have your candle out. You put out your hand as like a physical barrier between you and the zombie, and command it to stop, and it stops. As it stops moving towards you, you notice that its left foot is chained to something that disappears into the shadows.
So did I actually stop it, or does it just look like it's chained up and it came to the end of its leash?
Oh no, you definitely did stop it. It is not at the end of its leash yet.
So I inspect this creature. Does it look any different than the one that was upstairs, like in terms of age? I do have...
Yeah,
relevant...
this one is a little bit more rotted. A lot bit more rotted.
All right, so different. I wonder if these were like different. I don't even know. That's weird. Is there anything else moving? I look around in the dark, hold the light out to like make sure there's not more zombies waiting to eat
You
my
start
brains.
Poking around, and you see some of these cages have corpses in them. Some of them are skeletons. Some of them are zombies. They all seem to be undead. If not active. And that would be all the moving parts. In the meantime, why don't you give me a perception check while you search the room?
Yeah. My perception is 13.
Oh, wow. I was going to like slow leak some information to you as you find stuff over time in here. But I think
let's just get the gist of it. I think I just walk into the center of the room and look around at the candlelight, and I just know what this what this room was made for.
Absolutely. There is a slight reflective paint on the ground in the shape of a encircled pentagram with kind of red lining all throughout it. You instantly, although you've never seen it before, you recognize a magic circle right away as some sort of summoning and containing center that is in the base of this room. On the sides are cages and coffins, as we mentioned before. Each of these are labeled, and as you look through these labels, you recognize they are all members of your family, or at least the names reflect members of your family from way back in the day. Like,
I
the
think
zombie...
I just see winter, right?
Right, well, the zombie chain leads to a cage that's open, and on it, it says, like, Martha Winters, and then it has, like, the date range from when she was alive. And you recognize that as, like, Martha Winters, that's my great-grandmother, and you can go through and...
That's the zombie that I'm...
Yeah.
That's in here with me now. Are there any other body... What's the body count in the room?
8. 4 zombies, 4 skeletons.
All animate and
all
active,
animate.
So
active,
I think I don't see them all at
restrained.
first. I think the scene is Mal walks into the center of the room, flickering candlelight, slowly revealing animated corpse after animated corpse of my ancestors. Super creepy. And I just do a circle and stare them all down as I think I'm able. I think because their creator is dead, right? They just become mindless undead, free to be nabbed up by any necromancer with strong enough will.
They are all caged except for Martha, who is free-ish. So we don't necessarily need to do opposed checks. You can exert your will over them without any real threat. If it takes you 5 minutes to do it, you'll be able to do it because they're all caged. So we'll gloss over a bunch of pointless skill checks.
Yeah, well, so there is the possession is the one you lay out, right? Where you can touch an undead and, like, link your consciousness to it.
Right.
So maybe, is it a touch? If possession is touch, is, like, the control undead touch as well? Like, do I have to contact them to...
This is a great opportunity
under my control.
Figure that
How do you
out.
want that to work?
I want you to give me an intelligence check, and we will.
I do have an undead lore skill,
right? But this is more for your practice of experimentation with how far it is that you can control.
Well, I'm wondering what just happened. Like, did I have to touch Aunt Martha? Oh, nailed it.
No, you didn't have to touch Martha, but you had to be within 5 feet of Martha. And that was the range at which you were properly able to control her. You try it with some of these other people chained up, and from 10 feet it doesn't really seem to work, but once you get to about 5 feet-ish, just almost within touching range, your control seems to properly exert.
5 feet, you say? Are they aggressive?
Up until you control them, yes.
So I think I step into this ritual circle at the center of the room, look around, realizing I'm surrounded by the animate dead. And they, in turn, probably come lunging for me, snarling, and they're each recoil. Should I roll a will check for each? Or you can if you want. Was that just as a group, this pack was turned? No,
you would need to do it for each individual one, but they are caged, so they pose no threat to you. So you can.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Okay. All right. How did Martha get out? I wondered to myself as I walked towards her cage. Is it just like torn open?
Yeah, it looks like the bindings on her cage were just pretty poorly done. What you do see over is a mostly devoured body within her cage as well, of some sort of person in black robes. They're all sort of tattered and withered and shredded by probably Martha. But it looks like she ate someone who wasn't chained or bound.
Likely her necromancer, I would guess. I probably don't investigate further for the moment. Like, that seems pretty obvious what happened there. So I got a 20 on that perception check, so I'm gonna inventory the rest of the room. Like, can I ascertain the purpose of anything else in here? Like do an inventory. Like, what else? So there corpses. You mentioned like alchemical reagents, and
there are alchemical reagents and a lot
books.
more notes than the previous room had. Yeah, there are these books. These notes are in the form of books scattered throughout the room.
Okay. I set the candle down and probably go and secure some better light. A lantern or something from the main house, if that's something we would have, or a torch at the very least.
You can get a lantern, absolutely.
Okay. And I think we're gonna hunker down and see what we're working with here. That's a bit of a surprise. Family secrets.
So, you start going through these books.
Are they all? They're different authors, right? I mean, they're in Gadian, Old Gadian.
Yep, they're in Old Gadian, and it looks like the penmanship is the same through most of the books. Although you find one that looks significantly older, written in a different hand.
And are these instructions for?
They are personal journals and notes from some ancient relative. You don't see a name printed on it anywhere, but it's definitely the notes of a former necromancer in your family line.
And only two, right? It looks like most of them are journals from a single, like I look through, they're all the same handwriting.
They're all the same handwriting. It looks like there was one recent-ish prolific writer, and then one older writer. It's also worth noting that the notes in the other room, the atrium, are in the third script. So you've got three different scripts of writing. The one in the foremost room that you first discovered is the newest, followed by the prolific writer in the back room, followed by that one really old book or script.
So why was this one sealed up separately? That's because presumably the third necromancer had studied the earlier two. In any case, the second is likely that poor bloke over there, right? I'm gonna now go over to the corpse in the cage, the robed figure, and they like drag them out of the cage.
Yeah, there's not much left here, but by the size and shape of the hips, you can tell it was a female necromancer.
Fair enough. Can I guess the age of this corpse?
What would be your technique for guessing that age?
I think based on the decay and like, and the.
Sure, give me an appropriate check for this.
Yeah, I mean, I've got undead lore, I've got anatomy. I would be working on an embalming proficiency. But
sure.
I think
Do you
I
have
need
like a CSI or a medical examiner proficiency? Maybe just an anatomy check at some sort of penalty.
Yeah, that seems fair. My anatomy is a 10. I don't know. No, either way, it's not going to happen. Roll a 4.
Some ancient relative. The decomposition is awkward to tell because it's been in this sealed room for so long.
Like if there's flesh on the bones still, although
it's fairly
if this
mummified.
Room is sealed, right? Yeah, it's kind of just. I mean, maybe this is one of the epiphanies that. I don't know. Hopefully, I can find instructions in here somewhere on how to prepare corpses. Somewhere in this library, but decades.
Definitely
200s of years, right? I mean, if this my family member, like the decay is consistent with this being the necromancer and of this lab.
Yeah. We're probably looking on the order of a century or so.
Yeah. Poor bastard. Poor dead bastard. Well, is Martha's cage broken?
Yes.
Martha was the name of the zombie, right?
Yes.
Named for the Arcadian goddess.
Yep. Martha is a common female name. There are many, many women named Martha. Not all of them live up to their namesake, the goddess of life and creation.
I do find that curious, though, that one of my ancestors would have been named for an Arcadian god. When I was. Yeah.
Oh no, that's right, because you guys worship.
I was
the
under
old
the impression
gods.
we were.
Right.
Which might be. I mean, maybe that's just an inconsistency that is occurring to Mousefer here. Like I had believed, that or been taught, been taught growing up, or read, and read in the family histories that we were of the old Gadian line, and we would have worshipped our winter gods accordingly.
So having someone in your family line.
Here is a Martha Winter. How am I to? What am I to make of that? Well, this room is full of curiosities. And I think I just set about to getting it, is it decayed over the years? Like, it's been sealed up for a century. Is it usable, or is it just...
Not as a zombie, because the body's been badly mangled. And...
Oh, no, I don't mean the body. I mean this room. Like the room.
Oh, yeah.
It's like there's a... What's the ritual circle painted out of? I'll go investigate that now.
It looks to be it's engraved into the ground. There's like a little chisel out where the circle would be, and then
trencher for blood or something like that.
Something like that, and then there is a hardened, sort of like enameled red surface throughout the trench.
Is that still intact?
It's intact. Yeah, it doesn't look like dried blood or paint. It looks like some sort of very carefully inlaid and brushed enamel or ceramic or something.
I look around the room, and I have that to detect. I do have a detect spirits that will age me 1 year, but I think I'm still at the stage where I can just burn these years like a resource made with at least 1 year of spiritual force. So I feel like I would have probably wanted to use this as I was stepping into the room because a zombie has 1 year of spiritual force, right? Detect spirits would alert me to these zombies. And anything else in here.
Is that what you're going to do?
I think I'll just burn the year. I don't really care that much, right? What's 25 to 26?
Nothing.
Oh, wait, still 25, lowering my age from 100 to 99.
Excellent.
Because we can't keep track of 3 digits.
No, it's too much. Double digits, please.
Right,
yes, there are...
I think I'm suspicious that there's maybe something else in here, right? I'm seeing this ritual circle that probably wasn't used for the zombies. What else is here? So I look out, and I'm suddenly, aware of the spiritual presence of these other entities. Is it just me and the zombies, or is there something else here?
There's something else here. It's a circular room. It's on the back right side from where the entrance would be. You didn't notice it at first because it's almost entirely transparent, but now that you have detected the spirits, you see the 4 zombies, and then you see this ghostly red shade just kind of hovering, pressed against the back wall, so its features almost look like they're part of the wall itself.
It's Was it once a man?
It certainly
Woman?
has the face of a woman, although it's long and drawn and gaunt.
Do I have her attention?
It seems to be so.
I think I'm suddenly aware of this other presence. It's probably been watching me since I entered.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the impression I get in that instant? Like, oh shit. Is that the reason this room was bricked up? Would the bricks have stopped such a spirit?
Hmm.
Can I make some sort of knowledge check?
Yeah, give me an undead lore check.
11. I feel like folklore probably would have been more appropriate for this character, huh? I'm wishing I had done folklore and embalming instead of this undead lore, but I'll take that 21. I'll take the knowledge.
You are aware that ethereal creature, I should say, that the ethereal plane is sort of a reflection of the primateria plane, except for organic matter. Organic matter is not represented in the material plane, so in the ethereal plane. So anything ethereally shifted can walk right through organic matter, but would be stopped by a brick wall. So this shade before you.
That there's another dimension to it, right? Life, like the organic matter was made with life or something, right? If it's still got enough of that spiritual energy, that changes the way that. Sorry, I don't know.
Ish. But you would know that a ethereally bound creature put in a walled up room would be stuck in the walled up room. At least this ethereally bound creature. There might be some that can push through inorganic matter.
As long as it's airtight, right? They can.
Right. If there were cracks at all, it would be able to slip out. But if it's bricked up
organic,
proper,
would a metal box have caged this spirit?
A metal box would cage it as well if you could get a metal box that the entire creature could reside in, that didn't have any gaps or holes or locks or bars.
Curious. Well, what have I unleashed? Is this spirit like malevolent? Is it just sitting there watching?
It's just hovering there, staring at you.
I don't know how spirits work. Can I possess? Oh, the possession is just under your control. So if you find these stray undead, it's still pretty risky, right? Like I can't expect to have control over.
You can try and exert your control over this one. It will be more difficult because it is definitely a higher level undead.
Classifications of undead: zombie, skeleton, ghost, restless, raised, and cursed. Mindless, bound, and free. Okay.
Yeah, so this would be a raised, free ghost. A free-ranged ghost is what this is.
Yeah. You could add modifiers for these categories if you wanted to start to systematize.
Yeah, well, we can get into the cataloging of undead in the future.
Yeah.
So, would you like to try and exert your will?
Yeah, I'll try to talk to it. Right? Can the ghost talk? There's this moment of silence as Malsifer realizes he's been in the presence of the spirit the whole time and only just now thought to check.
Let's see.
Who are you? Who were you?
The shade gives you no reply, verbal or nonverbal.
Is this the same as the corpse necromancer? the dead necromancer? The robed figure?
The robed figure's face has been eaten, so there's no way to tell. But the shade definitely has a human female form to it. It's quite possible.
Martha was that zombie from in the cage, right? Yeah. She must have married into the family. That's got to be what it was. She was Arcadian.
You have heard of family members marrying outside of the family, you know? There has been a lot of interbreeding, or, as is typical of the age, but also sometimes people marry outside.
I'm going to walk closer to the ghost and see if it reacts to my presence.
Not in the slightest.
But I think I'll get within 5 feet and reach out as I did before and feel this ghost out. Or you called it a shade, so it's not a full-on ghost. It's some sort of animated spirit.
Yes.
Did you? Oh, you do have create shade as a
It's
level 5 ability or something like that.
I believe
level 4.
So.
Yeah,
something like that. Level 5.
Using a weapon? Ooh, bone knife. Huh.
Oh no, it is a level 4 spell. Like, it's a level 5 undead, but a level 4 spell. Okay. So if you would like to exert control over the shade, you can do so. But it's going to be a higher DC than these other suckers.
Yeah. It's probably would be, well... Oh, larger magic circle. So this circle must have been to make the shade. What are the consequences of failure here?
You don't know. This is your first time trying to exert control over things.
I think I walk within 5 feet of it, and I've been like, I detected its spirit, right? And I think I just get the impression that it's much stronger than I had anticipated. Does it? So I'm not immediately going to try to control it. Is it, unless it's like a threat to me?
No, it doesn't seem to be posing any threat to you. You have undead lore, so you would know that shades.
Yeah, I think I'm putting it together, right? It would be, its spirit had to be bound to some physical object, usually a ritual knife. And does it stay with that object? Like, does that mean that the sacrificial knife is somewhere here? Or
once it's created, it is free to roam. But you would also know that shades don't really have a method of attack. They're sort of just like entities that move around and can observe things. And then if you can possess a shade or your shades, then you can sort of scout things. You can move undetected because you're ethereally shifted. Ooh. So they work more as sort of like scouting creatures for necromancers rather than attack monsters. They usually have 1 HP for each year of life that the caster sacrificed in their creation. They have no method of attack or regeneration. They're ethereally shifted, so normal weapons have no function against them, but spells or area of effect magic will hurt them. Typically, shades are just created with 1 year of life because you don't need them to have a lot of HP. So usually they're quite easy to dispatch. They don't have to be. Direct sunlight will render the shade invisible, but will also sort of blind them. And if they spend too much time in direct sunlight, can actually cause them real damage.
Is there any sign of the ritualistic weapon that was used to create this creature, or the body? Absolutely. Right, someone would, you basically sacrifice a person, right, and turn their spirit, bind their spirit as a shade.
That is one way of doing it.
The gist of the spell.
Yeah, you can kill another creature to use it to create a shade, or you can sacrifice some of your own life to create a shade that looks like you.
Shade of yourself.
Yeah. So it could be either.
Okay, so this is probably the shade of the necromancer. Okay, I'm getting it. I'm not really interested in controlling it, but I would like to communicate with it. Is the best way, like, do you... I guess I've never linked with a with any undead before.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what's going to happen. Shade. Oh, it just takes years and a ritual and bone. And you would have to stab yourself with the ritual dagger to create the shade? Is that the idea?
You need to draw your own blood, yes.
And take the D4 physical and necrotic damage?
Caster takes hold a part of their spirit before severing it from themselves with a specially prepared silver knife and binds it with blood.
Oh, sorry, I'm reading spiritual weapon that's like right beneath it in the table.
Oh, right.
Which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, totally different.
Okay. So the create shade has no, there's
a description for it if you scroll down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there is something about a silver knife to take part of, to sever part of your life force.
Right.
Okay. Well, this executioner's axe is totally going to be a whatever weapon at level 4, but or used to make sacrifices and make shades. I don't know if I could cut my own life force with this Bardish, but I could certainly borrow someone else's.
So do you leave the shade there?
For now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want
to
to
not
like,
exert your control over it.
What's that?
You're not going to attempt to exert control over it and maybe have it control you and become the shade.
Yeah. I don't know. That sounds risky. Like I said, I think I'd rather try and figure out how to communicate with it. But that's not. Is that in the necromancer's wheelhouse? Communicating with undead?
Most undead are unable to communicate. Depends on their intelligence. Shades are simple and have no communication abilities. You would need advanced or complex undead for proper communication.
Really? Or like magic, right?
Or some sort of magic.
Right, like there's priest and wizard spells to like speak with, maybe just priest spells, speak with dead.
Yes.
But that's not, necromancers explicitly don't have that.
Right.
Those sorts of abilities, right?
Right. You're more focused on the
dead.
controlling and manipulation rather than the communication with the dead. Or would you need to talk to something that you've created, you know? So you've been in here for a while now. And what is your butler's name? Your housekeeper's name?
We've got I should pull up that spreadsheet that I made. We've got a groundskeeper named Lord Rosegrove.
That's right, Lord Rosegrove. So I believe he and Tomas have been cleaning up the upstairs after your unfortunate intruder.
Oh yeah, and Tomas was the
housekeeper and
cook. Yeah,
Yes. Excellent. Was it today, the day that the bandits came into your estate?
I think it was over the night. I probably need to I don't know. Yeah, I want to alert the town of those bandits for sure.
Okay.
Because they weren't from around here, right? They were outsiders, right? They just yeah, looking for a quick buck at this backcountry mansion. Oh, I need to update my spreadsheet. So how many zombies did you say there were in cages? There's 7?
4 zombies and 4 skeletons.
All right.
Which brings you to 5 and 5, right?
I have 2 skeletons for some reason.
Okay.
And 1...
Oh, that's right. You spent some time stripping flesh from a recently dead person, didn't you?
Yeah, was that one of the bandits? Yeah,
I think you spent all night with a butcher's knife hacking apart the body.
That's true. Yes. We flayed that bandit and animated them as a skeleton. So I've got 5 zombies and 6 skeletons. And I think it's morning, and I'm like up to my elbows in blood, and dirt. Right, I just broke down a wall in the basement to uncover this. Ritual circle. You've
been in the basement all night.
I explore.
Hacking apart bodies.
I can't help myself from figuring out what's in here. But I think around morning is the time where I'm gonna have to resurface and go into town and tell them that I've been raised by bandits and they need to track them down. I don't know. I mean, I don't think the sheriff has a chance of finding them, but you should at least report such crimes to the proper authorities or something.
right? I mean, you are the proper authorities.
The dawn after the bandit attack, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so are you...
So I'm going to get cleaned up and surface. Leave the undead in the basement, and the shade just free, I guess. If I shut the door, will it stay put? Like, I don't see it
there's no
around,
door, right? There's the hatch.
Yeah, the hatch.
The hatch is made of wood, organic matter. The shade can walk right through it.
Oh, it's organic matter that it can pass through.
It can pass through any organic matter, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not animated though, right? I mean, like, it's there.
It's not.
Yeah. It is inert.
Yes. You make it back to your house. It looks like the blood has been cleaned up by Tomas and Lord Rosegrove. They're even waking up and starting their daily activities when they see you come in up to your elbows in blood.
I think they just they just see me walk past in the. I don't know. I mean, they probably see it, but I think they just see me walking into the house to wash my hands or whatever. Right? There's like a.
Sure.
They don't have. There's a washroom or something. I don't know what.
Yeah, you find probably the kitchen. There's
house
some
would have in the way of amenities.
Right.
There's no plumbing, right? But
right as you go to wash
in the back or something.
Lord Rosegrove asks if you would like him to draw you a bath.
That would do. That would do. I probably ought to notify the town of the bandit attack.
Very good.
Town, right? What do we call it? The people. Notify the people. Notify the folk of the bandit attack.
Lord Rosegrove goes to get Tomas, and together they will take buckets of water from the nearby well and dump it into a basin for you, and boil water to mix it in to get it at least somewhat warm, so you're not just bathing in freezing well water. It's a slow process, but eventually you get scrubbed up and cleaned.
Who added Clarice and Rose to the spreadsheet? Right, they're dead, aren't they?
Clarice was your great-grandmother.
Yeah.
Yep, and Rose was the skull on the table.
Yeah. Who is it? Did you add these characters?
I haven't touched your spreadsheet.
Did I fuck up the permissions so that someone, or did I?
Did you add? Who added it to the spreadsheet, Ryan?
Deleting Rose. Delete great grandfather's side woman. Someone has been taking notes on my spreadsheet. It's possible it was me. So Rose is already in the undead category. Rose is a severed head. She does not. No one cares if she's my great grandmother. Or at least the spreadsheet does not care if she's my great. So Clarice, great grandmother.
It's a ghost in the wires taking.
Why are there dead people showing up on the living side of my spreadsheet? All right.
Oh my god.
At the very least, Clarice would show up, but I don't have her.
Who's controlling the spreadsheet? Oh my god.
You've got Clarice in your notes, right? Can I delete that from here? I don't. And she's not animated, right? She's not alive. She's not dead. I don't think she shows up on the spreadsheet. All right.
Clarice was your great-grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we know about her? Anything?
They were there. No one can edit. They were there the whole time. So these are probably just my own notes that are confusing me.
Maybe.
But anyways. Or maybe there's a ghost in the machine.
It's possible.
Not a shade, though, because a shade couldn't interact with it.
Right. Unless the internet is ethereally shifted.
Okay, so I take my bath, and then I think I need to head into town to tell the sheriff that there were bandits at the manor house last night.
Okay. You make it into the camp by
I don't have
midday.
a horse, right?
No.
There's a stables, but I can't afford a horse.
It's an empty stable.
Yeah.
You make your way into town.
I have to walk like a commoner.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's probably not that far, right? Maybe
it's
like
not,
a mile
like
down a
right.
little dirt path, dirt road.
Yeah, it's just beyond the hedges and down the way and through the lane. But you make it to the small camp with the temporary buildings turned permanent and a few real buildings. People are going about their business.
I go to Freddy's house. I think it's one of the few buildings, right? It's a little shack built for a sheriff. I think he lives in the same place, and wasn't a jail. I feel like I might regret not having a jail, but turning down the jail. But you know,
I mean, I think you've got some cages. Underground
I got a jail in okay. So I go knock on Freddy's door.
The sheriff gets up and comes to you, hat in hand, giving you a deep bow. My Lord Winters, what can I do for you?
I'm here to report a trespassing. Bandits at the manor house last night.
This is
Two of them are on the lam. Do we have hounds in this in the camp? Like, is a hound master something that
there's no
that would exist?
Particular dog trainer. A lot of people have hounds and dogs, but there's no like dedicated hounder.
Okay. I feel like that's gonna have to change. Is there a huntsman? There's huntsmen around though, right?
Many huntsmen. Some of them hunt with dogs.
Yeah, that's what I was after. Okay. I think we need to gather a posse. So I tell the sheriff, you know, you'll need to gather a posse and track down these bandits. And this is probably something that has to be done from time to time, right? You gather up the huntsmen to, I don't know, find a lost kid in the woods or.
Certainly, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, so maybe it's been a couple years since.
It's been a while since it's had to be done.
Round up the huntsmen, but.
He gives you a
because usually they'll work on their own, feed their own family. They've probably got their own territory carved out.
Right, but every now and then the town needs to come together for some greater good, and so the sheriff can go through and collect some huntsmen with some hounds, and he tells you he'll take care of it for you. Not to worry, my lord. I shall see to the bandits at once. Do you know which way they went?
Did I know? It was I don't know. North and west into the woods from my manor house.
Excellent.
I can have my groundskeeper show you where the trails start.
Excellent, my lord. I shall immediately gather some excellent hunters.
This guy sounds way too prim and proper. He's a backwater sheriff, Neal.
All right, I'll gather some hunters for you, my lord.
Oh God.
Is that better?
We'll work on it. Okay. With some practice, you'll be a great DM. I promise.
Just train me. I need training.
Or better yet, tell us in chat how to.
Oh God.
How to play better. That's my favorite. All right.
Why don't we take a short break, and when we come back, we will see the NPCs go off to to capture some bandits or kill some bandits, and Malstifer will probably get a nap, much needed rest. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
We're probably turning nocturnal as any proper necromancer oughta.
Yeah.
Right, we'll catch you on the other side.
Bye, everyone.